Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I will give you an analogy as soon as I read this little article, which is so weasel-like that it's irritating. This article comes from the New Voice of Ukraine from today, October 28, 2022. This is the title: NATO forces and nuclear weapons should be stationed in Poland. President of Poland Duda says. So the president of Poland, he says that it's okay to have nuclear weapons on its territory. Now, how would he justify this crazy desire? Remember, let's put this in the context, let's say 25 years ago or 20 years ago. Let's say Poland says, yeah, bring it on, bring your nuclear weapons here, right now. And the troops, American troops. That would have been straight from zero to the mountaintop. Remember? The slope model. So, they are doing this because there's the reason now. And they think that that reason is big enough and strong enough and appealing enough to request that, and nobody would say, oh, come on, man, you're crazy. Wait a second. What, you mean, are you crazy? Put weapons in, nuclear weapons in Poland? Really? And the argument will be, yeah, but you see, we put it because that's the situation here with Russia. Russia could attack us. We have to. As a defensive, a deterrent, you know? That's the new thing. Before, under normal circumstances, normal. So, besides the fact that the Ukraine war, I think it's orchestrated from the United States, and everything was channeled towards this. So I don't want to call it this and that, but it's very much like what happened in Poland in 1930s with the Germans about the Danzig corridor. They didn't want to negotiate in good faith with Germany because they had the Brits telling them, no. Forget about it. If they say something, we're going to back you up. So say no, because what are they going to do? Invade? We're going to start and destroy Germany. That's how the talks were between the Poles and the Brits. So when they met with the Germans, the Poles were, yeah, let's meet. That's what's going on here. Yeah, it's Poland, it's fine. Poland is fine. But now it's a different situation. It's Ukraine. It just came out. No, it didn't come out. No, it didn't just happen. Now, let me give you the analogy. So, the analogy is between new circumstances change the whole spectrum, the whole situation. Let's say you have a wife. And let's say with your wife, you have a little argument, okay? And like families have, relationships are not perfect, will never be perfect. So you have a little disagreement, and she said, you know what, I'm just going to go to mommy, or I'm going to go to wherever, I'm going to leave you for some time, I need some space and all this bullshit. So she leaves you, temporarily. You say, what the fuck, what can I do? I can't hold her, right? Maybe you want her gone as well. And while she's gone over there, she goes and fucks around, properly, you know what I mean. So she's going to go and fuck around for the whole month. And then she comes back to you, and you mend fences, and you're friends again, and you keep going. And then after a while, you find out that she fucked around while she was gone, upset, to just recover. And then you confront her and say, hey, you, what's going on here? And she's going to say, what do you want? We were not talking, we were not in good terms. What do you want? I needed time to reflect. It was not like we were in a marriage. Things changed. For that month, everything changed. We're not like I didn't know what I was doing with you anymore. So I can have, so that's with this. What do you want now? Duda asks Russia. Look, there's a war over there. I'm afraid you're going to invade me. You see, that war, you caused it. So I'm afraid you're going to come next to me. So yeah, I'm entitled to have nuclear weapons. I mean, understand what I'm trying to say. And let's move on and see what Duda says here. Kumoch specified the negotiations with NATO on the matter were at the conceptual stage and were precipitated by Russia violating its 1997 pact with the alliance by invading Ukraine. So I told you, things changed. I go to mommy, now I can fuck around. So, in 1997, a pact was signed between NATO and Russia on the basis of which there is a commitment that no additional permanent NATO forces should be deployed in Eastern Europe, said Kumoch. But if you remember, Gorbachev with the Western guys said no 1 inch eastward. The NATO will not move 1 inch eastward. Just allow Germany to be united, and NATO will not move eastward. How many hundreds of kilometers or miles they moved eastward? How many countries? How many, rounds of NATO members? And now they wanted to be next to it with Ukraine. And the Russians should be okay with that. That's the thing. It should be okay. And we're gonna put nuclear weapons in Poland. When they put the rockets, the so-called defensive system rockets in Romania and Poland, Russia said, "Hey, buddy, what are you doing here?" No, it's not against you. It's against Iran. Just take a look and see where Iran is and where those two countries are. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is this. Okay, if it's against Iran, why don't you let us to be observers and be over there with you guys? Since, no, not even Romanians or Poles are on those sites where the rockets are. Only we are over there. Okay, all right. So it's against Iran, but I can come and check them out? No, no, man. I mean, trust me. We just got closer to your territory with NATO, something that we said that we won't, and all of a sudden you want to check them. Come on, man, trust us. And now they wanted Georgia, and then they wanted Ukraine. Remember in 2008 in Romania, NATO summit? George W., that guy, he said, well, one day Georgia and Ukraine will be invited to join NATO. And Putin was like, say what? Okay, I'm gonna make sure that's happening. And he said, no, don't. What's going on, guys? Well, don't worry. And they are there. So, and I'm quoting, "We believe, as President Andrei Duda said at the NATO summit, that this act is dead. Russia simply annulled it with its aggression against Ukraine. The same with your wife. Our marriage was done at that moment. Or your girlfriend, put it your girlfriend if you want, leaves you for about a month, fucks around with everybody, and then comes back. And say, what do you want? We were not speaking, we're not talking. I could fuck with whomever I wanted. It was you, because you started the argument. And what do you want? It was your mistake, so everything is because of you. I fucked around because we had an argument started by you. So actually it's your fault, see? Okay. And get the fuck away from me. You know what I mean? Anyway, so let's move on. Nuclear sharing program is part of NATO's nuclear deterrence policy, allowing for transfer of nuclear warheads to member states that don't have their own nuclear weapons. Okay, well, you do that. And you see what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen? I guarantee you that Russia will have nuclear weapons in Kaliningrad. I guarantee you that. That's one. The second one, I guarantee you that Russia might bring nuclear weapons somewhere in Latin America or in Mid-America. How do you call it? Somewhere in Nicaragua, for instance. They already have access over there, remember? And they are allowed to build bases over there. With a new agreement and have military. They can have, 200 and some military over there. Remember that? I made an article on that one. So Nicaragua, who's very much by the United States, let's say allows Russia to bring some rockets up over there, or missiles, nuclear missiles. That would be okay, right? I mean, based on the same principle as Duda claims and NATO. I mean, and it's like, for instance, you go to a store and you want to buy something. And whenever we go to a store and you try to do something legal, I'm not saying you steal or something, and you want to speak with the manager tells you that, well, our policy is this. And then you should say, okay, but my policy is this. Why is never working that way? Why only their policy is the one that should be respected, but you cannot have a policy? It's only them. It's only NATO can have a policy, but Russia is not allowed to have a policy. The same, only the store can have a policy and the weasel manager that you're going to speak with. But you can't have a policy. You say, okay, my policy says that I can override your policy. Why not? Only your policy overrides my this decision or desire. Go, when you try to do something at a store or somewhere, you hear this, well, our policy, or if you speak with a bank or anything, but you can't have a policy. You're like zero. You can't hide behind anything. Say, okay, but my policy say this. No. So it's a subordinate and whatever, manager, superior relationship. So the same here. Okay, Duda, play your card. What's going to happen? Probably going to be one of the first ones going to be hit with the nuclear weapons because you're the closest threat. Logical. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.